Hi everyone, it's Stephania with CactiOnWhite and welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, consider hitting the subscribe button. This is a plant lifestyle channel, so we cover all topics related to plant life, you name it. So would love to have you stick around. Today I'm doing another install of my Caudex Plant Series. I've done a couple features of different Caudex plants previously, so I will put a link to that playlist. But I believe this is the third installation, and today I'm going to introduce you guys to one of my favorite Caudex plants, Stephania Erecta. Here she is here, so I'll give you a preview. She is just lovely. So we'll be covering a little bit about Miss Stephania Erecta this afternoon. I just absolutely love this plant. I purchased her from an Etsy seller back last year. I believe it was the summer, May of 2019. It was an Etsy seller actually, based in the US. A lot of times these rare Caudex plants, especially the popular ones like the Stephania Erecta here, there's the Stephania Superosa, which I've done a video on, which I will also link that video separately, but it is also included in the playlist. But what you'll find is a lot of these plants are overseas. Predominantly the location is Thailand. My Stephania Superosa came out of Thailand, a seller from Thailand. But this beauty was, again, I purchased her from a seller in the US, and I can link that below or give you guys that information if you'd like to know where I purchased her from. But it was a US seller and on Etsy, and I paid $36 for her. And she has rewarded me many more dollars since then. But she came in the form of just the Caudex, which looks kind of just like, you know, when I unwrapped it, it looked just like a potato, basically. I honestly didn't know the top from the bottom, so it was hard to tell what was the top, what was the bottom. So I actually kind of took a little bit of a gamble. There was a little divot on this side, so I took the risk that this was the top. So when you first get these, one of the tricky parts that a lot of people have is getting them to sprout. Generally you get them in just the bulb, if you will. And you know, so they're not already with leaves and things like that, so you have to sprout them, and some people have had challenges with that. How I sprouted mine is, you know, I planted her in this vessel, and it's some well-drained soil in here. I use cactus soil, well-draining soil. I didn't add a lot of perlite or grit, but you know, it does have good drainage. This planter actually has several holes under the bottom, so it sits in a saucer. So you want to make sure they don't have wet feet. They do need good drainage. But it takes a few weeks, and some folks it's taken months, I've read, to get them to sprout. But you want to keep them moderately moist when you're trying to sprout them. I had her under a grow light for probably about, I want to say 3 or 4 weeks, and nothing. You know, so every few days I would mist her. And you know, it just went over a couple of weeks, several weeks, nothing was happening. And then I moved her outdoors. I put her on one of my outdoor plant shelves where she was not on top and in full exposed sun, but was getting good sun, and you know, partial sun throughout the day. And after probably, I want to say another 2 or 3 weeks, I saw the little green sign of hope of a sprout. And I believe I have some photos of that, and I will try to include them here or throughout the video, some of the growth progression for this plant. But it took probably, I want to say about 3 more weeks, and then she sprouted. And you know, grew this stem here. This is probably the 2nd or 3rd set of leaves that she's had. It is a vining perennial plant, so this plant should vine for some reason, she is growing upright. Not sure why, but going to do some more research, but she is growing upright. So just to give you a little bit of history or information, not necessarily history, but information about Stephania Erectas. So they are native to Southeast Asia and Australia. In habitat, they grow in the forest on limestone mountains. So that's their normal environment. So they are part of the moonseed family, and it's Menispermiaceae is the genus that they are part of. Again, it's a perennial vining plant that it has a pretty large caudex. This one's not super large, but it will grow, so I'll have to move her up in a larger pot. I probably will, we're getting closer to fall, so I probably need to get a move on. And I want to take her out of this pot and look at her root system. And I'm thinking maybe I may do it before fall kicks in, or I might wait till next spring to move her up a pot size, if you will. So the leaves, as you can see, are one of the lovely characteristics of the plant. They are shield shaped, and I love the veination of the leaves. Let me see if I can get that in camera for you guys, and hopefully it's focusing. But I love the veination of the leaves. They hold pretty for a long length of time, and then they start to, like any leaf, they'll start to turn yellow. But I want to get her leaves to grow bigger, so maybe some more fertilizer. You can fertilize these. Again, from the care perspective, they do need a sunny area. They don't need, you will find and read, I have actually, that some folks recommend full sun. I don't recommend full sun. I like partial sun. So that's my recommendation, to sit her in partial sun. Well-draining soil, moderately water them, except when you're trying to get them to sprout. They need a little bit more water. So I was actually, and some folks suggest like a cloche or something over when you're trying to get the sprouting to occur. I did not do that. I was in fear of possible rotting, so I didn't do that. So that could be some of the reason why it took her longer to sprout for me. But I'd rather play safe than sorry. So yeah, they do, again, moderate watering, well-drained soil, with fast draining, draining soil. They do go dormant in the winter time, so you'll want to cut back on the watering in the cooler months. As we start to cool off, and definitely in the winter, you want to cut back on that watering because they do go dormant. I just feel, again, that they are just beautiful plants. They, you'll see them all over Instagram. They had their heyday, and I think they still kind of are having that as the, Caudex plant, if you will. And rightfully so, because look how gorgeous she is. She's just lovely. Is she not? What's not to like about her? And her cousin as well, which again, I've done a video on her cousin. I call her cousin because it's Stephania Superosa, which is just as equally as beautiful. But I actually had this one before I had the Superosa. The Superosa, again, did come from a seller in Thailand. This one came from a seller in the US. They both are doing really, really well. They're a lovely addition to my Caudex collection. So I'm happy to share her with you guys. I'll give you some more close-up photos. Again, I will insert some pictures of her growth and progress and things like that. I have posted her many times on my CactiOnWhite Instagram page. Also, if you don't follow me on Instagram, please consider doing that. I post quite frequently on Instagram. It's cacti.on.white. So look me up there and follow me there. Also, I have a website, www.CactiOnWhite.com. you may want to consider checking out my website. In the future, I plan to probably sell some rare caudex and rare cacti and succulents, and have a lot of good information around plants and things like that. So I think you'll enjoy the CactiOnWhite.com website. So consider signing up on the website and following me on Instagram. I also have a Facebook page. You can look up CactiOnWhite on Facebook. CactiOnWhite has a Twitter handle. So I'm all over social media. So I'm not hiding anywhere. If you want to follow CactiOnWhite, it should be easy to do on social media. So if you enjoyed this video, consider giving it a thumbs up. I mean, a thumbs up doesn't hurt anyway. Just give it a thumbs up, the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed looking at my Stephania Erecta. If you like these plants, that's a reason. Give it a thumbs up. The channel's doing really well. I hope to grow it very, organically. So I appreciate all the support that has been given to the channel, and all my new subscribers. Thank you for subscribing. And for the ones that have been around from the beginning, which is not that far back, it's not that long ago, thank you for being here. So I'm just going to hold her here while I close out the video today. Please look forward to many more Caudex videos. I have an affinity for Caudex plants. I actually really enjoy them. So I have quite a few in my collection, and I want to share them with you guys. So that is why I created this series. Overall, they're really easy plants. And I just find them super interesting. They're easy to care for. They don't require a lot, and they're beautiful, interesting. Some of them are so odd that that's what enamors me about them. So I hope you appreciate the Caudex plants as well. If you're new to them, this will, my videos will give you more information about them, and you may find yourself interested in collecting them as well. Hope you guys have a good rest of your afternoon, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. This is where she lives during the spring and summer months. I will be doing another video on this beauty. More to come on her. At that Caudex, not a Stephania. But here she is, back in her resting spot.